What's up, Internet? It's Full Shocker on a mission to shock the world with fantastic content. And today we're going to be doing an old style of content that I really enjoy. I'm risking over 1,000,000 silver. Um, that's like $1 something in real world value. Split, split, split. I need my tools. Split, split. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's everything. Is that everything? 6. Oh gosh. What happened here? Okay, I think that's everything I need. It's a bummer if I forget something, but you know what? I'm gonna do minor work boots. I'm gonna play it safe. I don't want to lose this money. Stone axe, stone hammer. I already have one. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Let's do some cabbage soup. Okay, that looks good. Invisibility potion, no problem. All right, cool. Let's jump on my moose. We'll do some light gathering and grinding in our safe portal. And this is just going to be stream of consciousness stuff. I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to, take notes. It's just having fun, making some decent content, and seeing where the adventure leads us. So be on the lookout for videos like this in the near future. I am trying to get to level 100 on my daggers. I have, I believe, 1 dagger maxed so far, the regular dagger. Now I'm at 74 dagger pair. So that is the context of our journey. I'm going to be doing gathering and fighting mobs. This is Dry Vein Riverbed. Let's check where I am real quick. Okay, I'm at a pretty good map, I think. This is a tier 5 map. I don't expect there's going to be any hostiles around here because it's tier 5. Nobody goes to tier 5 maps. So this is actually a really nice place to land for me to get some gathering done and work on my spec, my fame, and my daggers. And so this will be a nice little spot for me. So I'm really excited about that because I want to max my gear, man. I want to be max level in all of the gear that I want to use. I'm working on daggers now, but I still have to work on frost staffs, fire staffs, not crossbows. Forget crossbows. I think crossbows suck personally, but that's just me. I mean, they probably don't. They're probably good, but I'm not a crossbow guy. It's not my play style. That's not my theme. What do I want to level up? Bows. I'd like to get to bows. I'd like to do some bows. Spear, meh. I have done so much. Yeah, pyromancer, yeah. Frost staff. Yeah, I'm almost done with all my gear, honestly. Because I eventually I might want to just do the whole Destiny board. So that's definitely a possibility, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't really care that much to max the Destiny board. I just want to play what I want to play. So, I don't know. I have a lot of gear leveled up. I have every armor is level 100. Every headpiece is level 100. Every shoe is level 100. It's all 100. And I did that because I wanted to be a guild leader. And the way I saw it, I thought if I made my character as useful as possible, then I could fit my character into any situation, no matter the party size, no matter who's online, no matter, what the variables are. I would always be able to contribute to a party. And so I put up a big, solid investment into that. And it's still something that I might explore at a future time. Even as soon as today. If people are interested in joining the guild, be sure to let me know. I am quite well established on this game. I have a lot of silver. I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of skills leveled up. And so if you join the guild, I will be able to help you with your character. Like, it's a guarantee. I can absolutely help no matter what the situation is. I can help. So there's my thing. I try to save up 2 million silver a day using my alt character. That has been going quite well. I've been able to consistently gain at least 2 million silver every day with my alt. So that has been a little experiment that I've been running. So all of that, you know, I won't say it all goes into the guild fund because I have to buy my premium status, but once I get my economy going to where I have more than 2 characters generating 2 million silver a day, then we'll get the ball rolling, because then I can start spending a whole lot more on the guild personally. So yeah, I mean, what do I mean? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the guilds. I really like the idea of building a community on this game, because Albion is one of the only games that you can build a community on. Now, what do I mean by this? If you take a game like World of Warcraft, you're limited to the maximum party size of, what is it, 24 characters? If you're playing a game like Final Fantasy XIV, you're limited to 8. If you're playing League of Legends, you're limited to 5. If you're playing Overwatch, you're limited to 5. And so you can't really scale a large community if there's nothing for you to do in that community with other players, right? Albion says, hey, if you've got 100, 200, 300, 500 players, and they all share a common goal, then, you know, the world's your oyster, right? You can make a lot of cool things happen if you have 500 players on your screen. And you can, you know, dictate the flow of a large battle. You can win lots of loot together. You can, you know, contest some of these bigger guilds. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. You can get a whole economy going. You can set up your own marketplace, have different people doing gathering and crafting skills. So it's really the temptation is there. You know, it's like, man, what if I really did build a huge community of players? You know, what if, right? What if this channel gets off the ground and I get 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, and then, you know, I can say, hey, look, you know, if you want to play games with me, join Albion, join the guild, right? And we can go fight over territories with a bunch of just a bunch of people that are in these big guilds, and go try to be a top 100 guild, but try to be a top 10 guild, you know, something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. And so be sure to let me know what you think of that idea, because the thing that's apprehensive about that, the thing that makes me apprehensive, is the possibility that all of the effort will go to waste, either by the game not being very popular, or another game showing up that might be more popular than this. That risk is always there. So, like, I have cold feet, right? I don't 100% want to put all of my time and energy into leading a guild just to find out that it's gonna fail, you know. Which, you know, maybe that's not the best thought process, but it's the one I'm going with, because I want to be very careful about how I spend my time, because I only get one life, right? I gotta take it seriously at some point. So yeah, I don't know. I have a good real life situation. My real life situation is very good. I'm very fortunate to have an abundance of time. And my abundance of time is only growing. Like, in the next few years, I'm going to have even more time that other people don't have. So that gives me an advantage. You know, it makes me capable of doing this sort of thing over the long term. And so I'm just kind of thinking about it. Not necessarily going super active on it. I mean, I'm pretty casual as far as playtime goes. I only play about an hour a day or so. But yeah, definitely it's on my mind. I'm thinking about it, and if nothing better comes up, then why not, right? So looking for that something better, you know. Um, I don't have a girlfriend in the picture yet. If I ever get a girlfriend, maybe that will change things. Um, and so on. So my life situation could always change. You know, at the drop of a hat. You know, anything can change. But as of right now, my enjoyment comes from making progress on this character, building up my economy, making lots of silver, and so starting up a guild is something that would kind of fall into that category. So, you know, there's a possibility. The other possibility is that I get to meet cool people, and people who are interested in helping the XLNT guild can do so, and I would be okay. You know, I would be fine with delegating some of that work, making it such that there are other people that the guild can rely on instead of just me. But that has happened in the past where there were people who were willing to help with the guild, and I'm always grateful for any help I can get. But yeah, my level of commitment is low for now. It's not going to be the highest. If I really wanted to be more active, I would have to change my schedule. I'd have to make it so that I sleep a little bit later and wake up a little bit later, which is totally harmless. There's no damage being done there because I already get 10 hours of sleep no matter what. Like, if I recommitted to growing the guild and doing guild activities, I would only spend maybe 2 hours a day on it before bed, and then I would go to bed, and that would be it. That would be the day. So I don't know. It all depends. You know, it depends on whether this YouTube channel gets off the ground. But be sure to hit the like button to help me with that. It would be quite an honor to be the figurehead for a community online that, you know, worked together, that it helps people get through the day, brings enjoyment and entertainment to people all over the world. I think those are some meaningful endeavors and some worthy pursuits for me to, you know, focus my attention onto. Because I know there's a lot of people hurting right now, and people need, you know, an escape. They need a distraction. They need something fun to do. So Albion can be that, definitely. It's just I want to balance my commitment to the game with my real life and my priorities and all of that stuff. So I'm not 100% sure just yet. But, you know, if the YouTube channel does well, like I said, that is more of an indicator that I'm on the right track, that, you know, I'm doing something that matters to people. So I don't know. I'm just trying this out, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. As the old saying goes. I really liked the music cover I did. I love music, especially game music, but since I just saw Toy Story 5, I did a little cover of the Toy Story 5 song. So check that out. And we're still on our adventure here, leveling up daggers. I haven't forgotten that I'm sitting here making a video and leveling up my daggers, but you know, it's just grinding on screen. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm just kind of stream of consciousness and seeing where it goes. So there's that. XLNT, the Excellent Guild. Be excellent. Now, there is a little bit of a history lesson I could talk about as far as what is the guild, why is it called XLNT. That would be really interesting to talk about actually, because it's not just a fancy name. When I was a teenager, I was very competitive, and I loved meeting the most competitive players on a game. I joined a chess club and joined a chess tournament. I spectated a Pokemon trading card game tournament when I was a kid. I was really into competitive Pokemon battles. I was really into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh battles. Just always, there's always been a competitive nature to me, because I want to see what my limits are and how I can overcome those limits. So that's why I work out. That's why I play Albion. All sorts of things. So when I played a game as a teenager, there was an MMO that was very competitive that a lot of people didn't hear about. It's called Ragnarok Online. And that game was very PvE focused, but it had a PvP component to it. And there were people that took that competitive component to it and they dialed it up to 11. They were some of the most genius, creative, intelligent, and well organized people I'd ever seen in my life. Those people could play ball. Like they were like digital athletes before there were esports. They were, Ragnarok players. The creators of League of Legends were Ragnarok players. As a little bit of a history factoid for you, and you could look this up, but it's true. And the competitive scene in Ragnarok Online was incredible. It was absolutely jaw-droppingly amazing. It was called War of Imperium, and you have to do the research yourself. You have to look at World War of Imperium. They called it WoW because it was WOE, so you just called it WoW. But War of Imperium was a spectator sport in every sense. It was so incredible. Like, what made it so good? Okay, I'm saying all this stuff, but what's the point, right? The point is, you had groups of 20 players, 30 players, 100 players, all on the screen at the same time, all organized, using their abilities, positioning carefully, targeting the right targets. It was a whole thing. It was Albion before there was Albion, right? It was 100 versus 100, well established, well organized, very intelligent and creative people working together on this digital world where you had to fight over castles, you had to build your character correctly, you had to get the right gear, you had to get very specific stuff, very expensive stuff. It wasn't easy to get a lot of these things, and you just spent it all on a big fight with other players, and it was just so much fun. It was so much fun. I started a guild. I participated in the competition, and I met some of my lifelong friends just engaging in that ecosystem for a number of years. And so that was very influential for me as a person, especially since I was a lonely kid. I was very lonely, and I had no friends in school, and I had mental health problems. I had self-image issues, low self-esteem, and such, things like that. And Ragnarok gave me this little hole to dig myself into and think about the game and distract myself from my real problems. And it served me in that way. It wasn't a bad thing. A lot of people treated my game like it was a bad thing. I don't think it was, because it connected with me with people. It gave me something meaningful to work on. It especially the connection with people was really important. And I had fun. It was a good time. I don't regret a minute of it. Even when I was a kid, they were like, "Are you sure you won't regret spending all this time on this game?" And I said, "Never." I said, "No way." I said, "No way, not at all. Never." because I knew what it was doing for me. It was giving me something. It was giving me something to latch onto and think about and work on and build and accumulate. And it was just so powerful. It was just so much for me. It was cool. It was really fun. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So wait, I did that for a few years. I was fortunate that my financial problems weren't really that bad. I could have been making more money in that time. I know now, I learned as an older person that I could have been making more money. And even now, I could be making more money. That's kind of like part of the reason why I'm doing this video. But generally, I was pretty happy. Well, I wouldn't say happy, but I was contented with my entertainment. Um, but it was taking time away from working on myself. So it wasn't perfect. I had a lot of work on myself to do, and eventually I needed to start making the choice of, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to make my situation better? And I started answering all those questions over time. I got somewhere in my real life that I'm mostly satisfied with. Uh, but the point remained that Ragnarok was a lot of fun. Now, what does this have to do with my guild? Well, obviously, I have experience as a guild leader. I've done it for a number of years, and I met some really, really, you know, good people. Um, but there was this one guild that I could probably never beat. I didn't even try. They were so good. They were so strong. And I'm not going to name exactly what the guild was. I'm not going to give them that, but they were very strong. They were very powerful. They were very well organized, and they were the best in the world. It was not even close. And the thing that captivated me about the guild name, and names are important to me. Names are your identity. They speak to the whole message. They speak to the whole world, what you are, who you are, what you value, right? So you can never give too much thought to a name, right? And this is something that I believe in all walks of life, whether you're branding for a business, whether you're writing a book and looking for a pen name, whether you're titling the book, titling a YouTube video, whether you're, communicating in any way with the rest of the world. You want that name to be at its peak. You want it to be the best thing it can possibly be. And I think those people found a great name. And the cool thing about their name was that it was spelled wrong on purpose. And that it strikes your attention. It's like, hang on a second, that's not the right way to spell that. But it was so confident because you had the best players, you had the richest players, you had the most well organized teams available to you, and the whole thing was spelled wrong, either as a joke or as a branding opportunity. I'm not sure which, but it was just so, like, it was so poetic, and it was so genius, and it was like, man, that is really cool. At the time, there was an obsession over being correct. There was an obsession over place your commas at the right place, capitalize your letters in the right way, use proper grammar, use proper spelling, organize your ideas, conduct a thesis statement, 5 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs. It was very academic at the time. And the way they cultured their name, it was like rebellion. It was like a rebellion against the norm. It was a rebellion against the rules. It was saying, hey, you know what? We're so great that we don't have to play by the rules. We're, cheating. It's like, it was cool. It was a really well delivered message, and it was so striking. It was like, dang, these guys really know what they're doing. And so I took that idea and I said, you know what? I'm going to spell something wrong on purpose just to hype up how awesome I am, how awesome we are, right? I want to hype up how freaking cool it is to be a part of this guild, right? Excellent. And it just came, it just hit me. It just went poof, just like that. It just said poof. It became the thing that jumped out at me and said, yes, this is it. This is what I want to work on. This is what I want to do. So XLNT is just a misspelling of the word excellent, and it was drawing inspiration from the memory of this organized team that was the absolute best at what they were doing, and they worked really hard on it. And so those are the values that I bring into the guild. I don't have the best guild right now. It's only 22 players. I don't play 10 hours a day anymore. I'm not the most hardcore player, but the vision is what's hardcore about it. The vision is, we're going to be the best no matter what. No matter what we're doing, we're going to put our all into it. We're going to do our best. We're going to try and see where things land. And so that mentality of, putting forward your best, remaining competitive, being organized and structured and routined and disciplined, those things are what bring value to life, because if you just sit around doing nothing all day, every day, then are you really using your life effectively? If you're not trying at something, if you're not caring about something, then what does that say about you, right? Back on Ragnarok, there were players who were like hyper casual, like so casual that they never worked on their characters. They never got any good gear. They never got any in-game money. They didn't bother with any of the game stuff. They just sat around all day and chatted and chatted and chatted and chatted and chatted and chatted and chatted. And you thought I was wasting my time? Those people were wasting their time. Because they were missing the point of the game. They were missing the meat and potatoes of the experience, right? The point of the game isn't to sit around in the main city and talk for 6 hours, right? The point of the game is to progress your character, get to a high level, defeat some really challenging objectives, and overcome your obstacles, right? So that was, in my opinion, from my perspective, that was the right way to play. To do the best that you can, right? With the time that you have, the very infinitesimally important time that you have, do something with it. It doesn't matter what it is. Just try. Just do care. Just give a crap. So that philosophy never left me. I still believe strongly in trying your best. Making the most out of what you're given. Because that's how you live. That's how you experience. That's how you meet like-minded people. That's how you build something from nothing. You just care about it. So I can't force somebody to care about Albion. I've tried, but to the people who can get it, to the people who can see the vision and understand it, this game welcomes you. This game gives you something to work on, something to care about, something to sink your teeth into. It's a very deep game. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate that. A lot of people are solo safe zone players, solo safe zone, solo safe zone, solo safe zone, solo safe zone, walk around, gather, walk around, gather. The right way to play Albion is to care. And I'll just leave it at that. So that's my ramble. I'm gonna cut this video. It's been 30 minutes already. I hope you liked it. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I will be back with more very soon.